Good morning. Welcome back to program module BSCM 2206 Health and Safety in Supply Chain. Today is the module 2 Safety Policy. As usual, we should know how to confirm our attendance and mobile phone on silent mode. You can listen to this discussion, but apart from that, you can't make any telephone calls or chit chats. Convenience, as we discussed earlier, if you have a requirement to move away for a slight moment of time, please don't worry about that one. If you have any questions, please remember that you can ask the questions in two ways. You can WhatsApp me within this period, or else later on you can email them. Sometimes I may not answer telephone calls as and when you call, but if you need any clarification, please don't hesitate to drop me a text message. I will reply you. Now, what are the modules within this particular system? Now here we are going to talk about the basic modules. Now here you can see effective HSE management and leadership and commitment we discussed during the last time. So today is the policy and strategic objectives, that is module 2. Then after that we will be going for the organization and the rest of the other modules as we discussed earlier. And remember, out of all this lot, the most critical component is module 4. That is where the risk management framework and how to manage the risk and develop everything, all the safe systems are being discussed. As I discussed earlier, health and safety policy is a must for any organization more than 5 employees. Then the policy has 3 sections. First one is the statement of intent, which explains what you are thinking of the risk, how you are going to manage it, and what you are going to achieve in the management system. Then says the responsibility. The responsibility section sets out who is responsible for specific action. This means you can't just make a promise or statement without having someone responsible to implement that. Then comes the third one is the arrangement section, where it says what to do in practice to achieve the aim. Now here you can see in the statement of intent, it says the commitment to manage health and safety effectively and what to achieve. Then you appoint a responsible party to achieve that one, and arrangement section will ensure how to get that one done. And also in the arrangement section, it explains meeting commitments made, including information on how to eliminate or reduce the risk of hazards in the workplace. Now remember, when you are talking about the statement of intent, we might say we are going to manage this business very safely by managing the risk arising out of the activities. So it is not only the managing of that one. In the last segment in the arrangements, you had to explain how to eliminate or reduce the risk in the workplace also. So you can see here planning phase, performance phase, assessment phase, and the improvement phase. It's the same thing which appearing here as plan, do, check, act. In health and safety world, this is known as PDCA cycle. Plan, do, check, act. Remember, this is the basic guideline of any ISO standard, PDCA. Plan, do, check, act. So right, now we are coming to the 3 most known and the common standards available in the world. First one is the HSE 65. This is a UK standard. This is basically for the management monitoring. The guide is more concerned with continual improvement than the attainment of minimum health and safety standards, which means it doesn't say you have to achieve this standard or the particular requirement. It monitors how much you are improving from the beginning up to now and how much to be improved further. So actually this is the standard HSE practice where you never rest after achieving something. You have to keep on improving. That is the one which is known as continual improvement. The framework is used by HSE inspectors when auditing health and safety management arrangements of an employer. So as an example, we know in any part of the world, any of the human activities if you consider, we always keep on improving. Now as an example, 100 meters race, maybe it was done under 10 seconds long time back. Now it is 9 point something. Why? We keep on improving. Even speeds of vehicles keep on improving. Humans' lifespan keep on improving. So in the same manner, we have to keep on improving on our health and safety standards also without thinking, no, what we have achieved is enough. Remember the target is goal zero. What is zero? Zero fatalities, zero accidents, zero injuries, zero environmental damages. Until you achieve that, continual improvement is to continue. OSHA's 18001. OSHA's 18001 is an internationally recognized accredited standard for occupational health and safety management. This looks more or less looks like ILO OSH 2001, very much similar, but the difference is ILO OSH 2001 is a voluntarily standard which you can follow, but OSHA's 18001 is given or awarded by organizations who are accredited to inspect, audit, and then recommend for the qualification. But along with time, OSHA's 18001 has gone out of the market. Why? It also came under continual improvement. Now we are following a different standard, which is ISO 45001 with little bit of adjustments and the improvements to OSHA's 18001. Now even in this one, the same blocks are available. Policy, planning, implementation, check, management review, improve. Same PDCA cycle appearing here also. You can take your time and go through it. Need not to know the internal content of that one, but knowing the three key standards and what are the similarities are more than enough. Then we come to ILO requirement. Now ILO requirement is the guideline for all the other two standards also. Even HSG 65 and OSHA's 18001 are based on ILO OSH 2001 requirement. Remember, the main common elements of UK's HSG 65 and OSHA's 18001 is the same thing, ILO OSH 2001, but this framework is not legally binding on any of the members. Now here when we say any of the members, it is related to International Labour Organization, International Labour Organization member states. So remember, this is a recommendation, but the difference is HSG 65 is being used by auditors, OSHA's 18001 is a standard awarded by accredited bodies, but ILO 2001 is not so, it is just a guideline only. To be successful in ILO recognizes that there must be a national policy on health and safety, on occupational safety and health and safety management system in place. So remember, ILO recognizes. ILO doesn't apply any pressure on us to say you have to have it. Same content, policy, organizing, monitoring, evaluation, everything is the same. Everything reverts back to PDCA cycle. Right. Now I am going to show you very proudly the most comprehensive health and safety management system which is used in Shell. Even the PDCA cycle is developed by Shell. Safety management system what we are experiencing today throughout the world are developed by Shell. It's a petroleum related industry, very hazardous and a risky operation, but even to date Shell operations are being recognized as the safest operations in the world, right? Now even in this one, it has these four key elements: PDCA, planning stage, do stage, check stage, and improvement stage. Now as I mentioned you earlier, we are going through all these modules, so you all are lucky enough to get the exposure to the same. Now the key features of ILO. Now remember, from here onwards, we are going to discuss only about the ILO requirement. International Labour Organization's requirements. Why? That is the guideline. All the other standards are based on that. So ILO OSH 2001 identifies that the employer, in consultation with the workforce and their representatives, should set out in writing a health and safety policy. Now here you are learning something very critical, and should not forget, the health and safety policy comes with the representation and consultation of the workforce. Why? Maybe I discussed this in a very light manner earlier. Health and safety management is different. Health and safety practice is different. Health and safety practices are coming from the workflow, where the ordinary workers are. Health and safety systems can be developed by managers who doesn't have the competence in what the workers are doing. It's a standard thing. So that's why when you are developing a policy, you have to ask from the workforce, are you okay with this? How to improve this? What are your suggestions? So like that, you have to get the feedback from them before setting out anything. Then all HSE policies should be specific to the organization, appropriate to the size and the activities. So we are developing a sample HSE policy today, so you will understand what this means. This means a very wrong thing what is being done here in Sri Lanka. You pick one safety policy from an organization and try to copy it to another place. You can't do that. We will get to know why in a little while. Then concise, clearly written, dated and made effective by the signature of the most senior accountable person. Remember, safety policy should be signed by either managing director, CEO or most senior person in the organization. Why? This is where the commitment from the leadership comes. When the senior most person signs the document, it demonstrates the commitment of the leadership. Communicated and readily accessible to all persons at their workplace. So having the policy in the office is of no use if it is not being seen and practiced by the workforce. So therefore, the safety policy should be made available to everyone. And also you have to review it on continuous basis. Why? The organizations change, people change, environment change, processes change. Therefore, the risk also changes. When the risk changes, the way you are going to achieve your objectives are going to be different. So therefore, your health and safety policy should be reviewed constantly. Made available to relevant external interested parties. Maybe you can remember IPs, interested parties, what we discussed earlier. Our neighbors, our business partners who are outside of our organization, who can get affected, who may get affected, and who presumed or believed to get affected. So all these people, if they come and ask for the health and safety policy, you should be able to provide that without hiding. The ILO further recommends protecting the safety and health of all members of the organization by preventing work-related injuries, ill health, disease and incidents. So remember, it is not that we are going to put up a hospital to look into the injuries of the workforce. We have to have systems to not to have injuries in the workplace. That is the most important thing. So here it says ILO, International Labour Organization, is pointing their fingers at preventing work-related injuries and ill health rather than incidents. Complying with relevant occupational health and safety national laws and regulations, voluntarily programs, etc. A good organization will not complete not only the national laws or the regulations, but they will take part in voluntary programs also. This is one of the questions which I asked last time in your assessment. Ensuring that workers and their representatives are consulted and encouraged to participate actively in all areas of occupational health. Workers' participation and representation is a must for all policy and procedural development. Why? Because they are the people who are going to put it into practice. Then we are coming to the content of the policy. First one is the statement of intent. What is statement of intent? It should set out a clear and simple language the commitment of the organization to meeting its obligations for managing health and safety risk arising from its normal operation. As we discussed earlier, I wanted you all to select a particular organization of your own preference, any business type, any business model. When developing the health and safety policy, you should know what kind of a risk is there. Then the incidents are coming out of the risk. Then you should know how to manage it. Now to manage, the management, senior management should have a commitment. So the statement of intent is about that commitment. In the commitment stage, what you are going to discuss? Commitment to the effective management of health and safety risk arising from the operations of the organization. Its aims and objectives should be set and agreed by the Health and Safety Committee following consultation with safety representatives. So what is aim? What is objective? Aims and objectives should be set and agreed by the Health and Safety Committee following consultation with safety representatives. Aims and objectives is you are aiming to achieve something. While trying to achieve, what are the stages you are going to pass? So those steps are, or the stages are your objectives. So before you agree on your aims and objectives, you have to consult the Health and Safety Committee. And also you have to discuss that with health and safety representatives or the workforce. Then it should be signed by the senior most accountable person to signal senior management's commitment to effectively managing the health and safety. I discussed this earlier. Right. Now in the statement of intent, what is the main content? What? Statement of intent says what the organization is aiming to achieve in relation to managing health and safety. So this is the first part of the statement of intent. Then the statement of intent says what organization is available, who has general and specific roles and functions in relation to managing health and safety. Arrangements, the measures in place to manage general and specific aspects of the organization's health and safety. Now, you have to understand that the statement of intent says what the organization is going to achieve, then what is inside the organization, who is going to be responsible, and what are the systems and the arrangements in place to do that part. The policy should include the name or the job title of the senior accountable person in the organization who is responsible for health and safety. So remember, when you are signing the health and safety policy, actually the person who signs the policy takes the responsibility. Why? It says my organization will do this or our organization will do this, and he signs. Actually, he's the person who's taking the responsibility. In this particular subject, at least, the person who signs take the responsibility. I can't sign by myself and give the responsibility to another person. The name of health and safety advisor, any safety representatives and others who have specific roles and responsibilities for health and safety. This is also part of the statement of intent. The commitment to employee consultation. As an example, using safety committee, recognition of safety representatives. So remember, when you are making a statement of achieving something, you have to get the green light or the approval or the consent of the lowest person getting affected by that policy. Identify the relevant health and safety, welfare and environmental issues related to the organization's activities. You do a particular activity, you should know what kind of negative effects and positive effects or impacts are coming out of that one, and you should know what arrangements are there and what facilities you should provide to your workplace to manage the risk and the difficulties coming out of that. A commitment to risk assessment, emergency procedures, health surveillance and employment of competent persons. Now even the management is supposed to say, this is the risk of my organization and this is a very specialized thing. So we have to have people with these competencies, which is the organizational structure. And they also have to say, while performing your job, you are getting exposed to this kind of health or safety related risk. Therefore, we check our employees for the lungs are functioning, your eyes are functioning, heart is good, there's no any rashes or skin damages. You have to check all those things. And also you have to have competent people to see that the work is being performed safely. Duties toward non-employees, contractors, visitors, members of the public. These are the interested parties. So remember, even in the statement of intent itself, you have to specify your responsibilities and obligations. And also, if you are willing to follow any internationally accepted external standards, external policies, you can specify that also within the statement of intent. Now, you can say some examples like drug related policies, smoking related policies, harassment, child labor. All these policies can define in your statement of intent. Then duties of employees. It is not always the employer who sets his duties and the responsibilities. Even the duties can come from the employees. Maybe you can remember responsibilities of employees, which we discussed during the first segment. Specific performance target for immediate and long-term future. What you are going to achieve today, what you want to achieve within month, what you want to achieve by the end of the year, what you are going to achieve in 4 years. So those are immediate or short-term targets. And there could be long-term targets. Generally, long-term targets are what you are going to achieve 5 years and onwards. When you are deciding these performance targets, so remember, it has to be agreed by the Health and Safety Committee following consultation with safety representatives. Why? your system should have, your organization should have the required resources and the required time to achieve those objectives. And once you set out performance targets and when you set up your objectives, it should be realistic. Unless you have the resources and the required time to achieve that, just don't make blank statements. Then common health and safety performance targets. What are they looks like? Specific reduction in the number of accidents, incidents and the cases of work-related illness. This is something which has to be specified in your statement of intent. Reduction in the level of sickness absence. Now I want to highlight this one. In many of the organizations in Sri Lanka, by the time it comes to the end of the year, most of the employees has taken all their annual leave, all their short leaves and all the medical leaves also, and sometimes couple of days absence also due to medical reason. Most of the time these are not true. When his annual leave is finished, then the person goes for medical leave and going to a doctor and getting a medical certificate and applying for that. But if you do that in shell, you will be categorized as a medically unfit person. Why? You are taking so much of medical leave. So remember, reduction in the level of sickness absence or the medical leave taken is a negative performance indicator in any of the organizations. Specific increase in number of mine accidents and the near misses. Reduction in the number of civil claims. Sometimes outsiders can file claims against the company. No enforcement notices from the relevant enforcement agencies. The factory inspectors or the labor inspectors are not going to come and stop our operations due to any malpractices. So these are some of the things which you are going to look upon in improving our performance. Finally, health and safety audit score. Once you can eradicate all the negative things, there is a system of auditing and granting a performance score. Now here we are looking at improvement of the health and safety performance score. And finally, achievement of a nationally recognized health and safety management system similar to OSHA's 18001. Now it is ISO 45001. This is an example, health and safety policy. Now you can see that majority of the things what we discussed in the previous slides are indicated here. See the commitment. The company is fully committed to meeting its responsibilities. Then it says achieving those objectives. It has appointed designated members of staff to be responsible. It says liaise with the enforcement agencies where necessary. So you can see here in the statement of intent, it very clearly says how the company or how the organization is looking forward to manage or approach managing health and safety. Now you can see in the second paragraph, the main responsibility of the health and safety lies with the managing director and the board of directors, unlike in Sri Lanka. Company is bound by any acts and or omissions of the managing director, any executive director or manager giving rise to legal liability, providing only that such acts or omissions arise out of in the course of company business. So which means whatever the company is doing, the board of management and the directors are responsible. They are not going to get out of that. It is very clearly described here. Now here it says the workers' obligations or the responsibilities. Comply with the individual legal duties and will cooperate with the employer to enable him to carry out his health and safety duties. So remember, it is not one dimensional. The business says this is what we are going to do and it expects workforce also something in return, right? And also you can see very clearly, and in the very last paragraph it says the company will comply with its legal duties towards workers in order to provide and maintain plant and systems of work that are safe and without risking to life, a safe workplace and a safe system of work. So this is a company's legal requirement. Provide information required. They provide training, provide supervision, provide equipment, and they provide preventive and protective measures. And finally it says they will appoint a competent personnel to secure compliance with legal duties and to undertake reviews of the policy as necessary. So this is a very comprehensive statement of intent. This carries nearly 90% of the things what we discussed earlier. Small group exercise just before our break. Identify a business model of your choice. තමන් කැමති ආකාරයේ business module එකක් ගැන හිතන්න. ඊළඟට form a business group of your own by grouping maximum of 5 students each. මේ by BUY type කරලා තියෙන වැරදීමකින් නෙවෙයි. Group of your own by අපි ඔක්කොම එකට එකතු වෙලා agree වෙන්න පුළුවන් එකක්. හැම කෙනෙක්ම එකට කැමති වෙන්න ඕනේ. එතරම් මේ BUY කියන ගන්නවා. අපි අදහසක් දෙනවා. ඒ අදහස විකුණනවා. වෙන කෙනෙක් ඒ අදහස ගන්නවා. අපිට පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕන අපේ අදහස මාකට් කරන්න. So you have to do your little bit of studies within your group, within your friends or clients. තමන් කැමති ආකාරයේ business එකක්. transport කැමති අය ඉන්න පුළුවන්, shipping කැමති අය ඉන්න පුළුවන්, production කැමති අය ඉන්න පුළුවන්. So whoever the leaders, I don't know who the leaders are because I have not seen anybody physically as of now. So you all can form up teams of 5 students each. Confectionery industry එකේ වැඩ කරන්න කැමති අය ඉන්නවා නම් 5 දෙනෙක්ව හොයාගන්න. Construction industry එකේ discuss කරන්න කැමති අය ඉන්නවා නම් 5 දෙනෙක් ඒගොල්ලෝ එක group එකක් හදාගන්න. Then transport industry එකට කැමති අය ඉන්නවා නම් 5 දෙනෙක්ගේ group එකක් හදාගන්න. Now from today onwards you all are going to be business owners, business managers, workers, supervisors. Everyone will be playing roles. It is very, very important for our future studies. That so therefore establishing of this group is a must. Appoint out of these 5 MD or CEO තමන් හිතින් හිතාගත්ත business එකේ අධ්‍යක්ෂකවරුන් කවුද කියන එක තීරණය කරන්න ඕන. මතක තියාගන්න MD ලා ඉන්න පුළුවන් එක්කෙනයි මෙතන CEO Chief Executive Officer. ඊළඟට Head of Operations තමන් කරන යන මොකක් හරි activity එකේ කවුද operations manager. Head of HSE කවුද health safety and environment manage කරන්න යන්නේ. කවුද supervisor සහ කවුද worker හෝ workers. ඒතර 5 දෙනෙක් 6 දෙනෙක් වගේ ඉන්නකොට ඒ කණ්ඩායම හදාගන්න පුළුවන්. මම උදාහරණයක් කියන්නම්. අපි හිතමු දැන් මගේ මේ කලින් පාර කරපු batch එකේ හිටපු අය ගැන මම කියන්නම්. They formed so many groups and they had MDs. They have head of operations, health and safety environmental managers, supervisors and operators. Why? I will tell you little later. Once you do that, give an appropriate name to your business. Now you have a business to operate. Everyone should belong to a group from now on. So nobody is left out. Everyone is playing a role. There's a business and you all are business partners. Now, what are the key operating blocks of your business? So you know what your business activity is, split them into business blocks. And all of you all should be taking the ownership of any of those blocks. That is the whole idea. Everyone will get a role to play and that is the priority. මේ ගිය පාර මගේ group එකේ හිටපු අය මහිලා apparels, easy go cab service, Umbaya dairy and Rasa fruit juice. So these are the 4 organizations we virtually created. ඒ roles වල එතකොට අපි assignments කරනකොට ඒ එක් අය tie තමන්ට අයිති role එකේ එකට විදිහට තමයි assignment එක කරන්නේ. Most important thing, remember by Wednesday I should know who are the groups operating, who are the businesses or the business entities operating with me from then onwards. Okay? Right. So let's take a break for 30 minutes. Within these 30 minutes, you can call your friends and discuss what is the organization you are going to create, who's going to be the CEO, who's going to be the supervisor, or mama kiyapu roles ටික ඔක්කොම agree වෙන්න ඕන. Okay? If you start to enjoy what you are learning, even in this manner, because generally you might, as of now, this is a heavy subject on your brain. ගොඩක් හිතන්න තියෙන දෙයක්. ගොඩක් ගැඹුරින් තියෙන සමහරලාට dull boring වගේ හිතෙන්න පුළුවන් දෙයක්. But unfortunately, we are on virtual world. Therefore, I can't do much of interactions. Otherwise, with a lot of interactions, we can have a lot of fun. But I hope this corona issue will be sorted very soon so we can see each other and have some actual physical real effective engagement much more than this. Okay, let's take a break for 30 minutes and come back and watch the rest. Thank you.